Are you looking to build a website or mobile application? Well, I'm Dan Melnick, and I'm the founder of Zeng. And I started this company because I had trouble finding good developers. I partnered with Qasim Masood, and he's in Pakistan. I'm in Austin, Texas, to offer cost-effective software development. We work in U.S. hours, and we're very efficient. We work with some of the top companies that you might recognize, like Last Media and AppSumo, and we'd love to help you out as well. So check us out, myzeng.io.
Let me start with my journey. So I come from Mumbai. I was born and brought up in Mumbai in my early age, and then in Navi Mumbai in India. And during my whole childhood and like engineering, I was always excited about software and technology in general. I started my career in electronics and telecommunication, wherein learning how the computer works was the most crucial part for my curiosity to begin. And then as I grew older and older, because of the monetary problems, I moved away from the other part and came to software because it was cheaper. Like you have this mini workers, which are these computers, and you can just ask them to like do something based on code and they'll do it for you, which is a great thing. So in India, after my graduation, I started two companies. One was GreatNext Technologies, where I saw a lot of demand for people to build websites and solution because a lot of people wanted a digital presence. So we built this consultancy kind of service wherein we would take a project and build software for all our customers. And on the side, I was doing freelancing. So I was actually, cherry picking projects which I liked or enjoyed and I could solve, like taking some challenging projects in all across the globe. And I was finding these jobs in Upwork and working with all this. I have worked with I think 20 plus client all across the globe. I think only Antarctica is left, or else like all the continents I have worked with them. So in my experience, there was a lot of demand for chatbots when I was doing freelancing. So everyone was like, hey, can you build a chatbot from scratch? That's when I thought like, hey, building a chatbot platform wherein anyone can come and create and install a chatbot would be a good solution. Especially we wanted it to have usage-based pricing. There were technologies called serverless technologies in AWS, which would make it cheaper for you to run a small task. So we wanted to give that, benefit of financial benefit which we get by using serverless to our customers. So it was a usage-based service. And it was focused on India. And this was all in 2019. AI wasn't cool. Like there was a lot of AI research going, but it wasn't as cool as it became after ChatGPT. So I built this startup with, it was all bootstrap. We had a very good team and we did a lot of, build a product, tried selling it. Selling was hard. I actually knew, I learned how to build, but I never learned how to sell. That was the tough part for me. And during that process, I identified I lack some skills which are necessary to be an entrepreneur. And I need to find ways to do that. There are multiple ways. Maybe you can join an early stage startup, but I decided on going to a prestigious university. So that's why I came to Cornell to do my master's. Simultaneously, there was a company in US who wanted to acquire my startup. So we started talks for that and my company was in talks for acquisition. So in Cornell, they have a program in New York City, Cornell Tech, where they actually focus a lot on, they actually focus a lot on entrepreneurship. So they actually promote all the things like how you should come up with idea, how you should think about solving product, and then help you understand what all is involved when it comes to building a company rather than just doing a project on the side, right? Because startup is a company and you need to do 10 different things other than just writing the code. So they help me give a very good understanding of like what happens and what I can learn. And then after my graduation, I decided to do my own startup. So if you see in 2021, I came to masters because I didn't know some skills, right? So I wanted to learn and also get this recognition of a big university, which might help me, get into more people's eyes, expand my reach across more people and because it's very hard. I came from Mumbai University, and people don't believe in you because you are from a, like, not so good, like you're not from the best universities in India. So people kind of don't look up on you. So if you were from BITS or IIT, anyone would kind of, throw money in and like ask, like help you build a startup. But it's very hard when you are from a smaller university or college. To be honest, Mumbai University is not smaller, but then it's just like the game. So I came to Cornell, being an Ivy League, it helped me kind of, find right people. The most valuable thing I got was getting connected with the right people. And also, like, I had to take some initiative so that I get connected. It's not always automatic you enroll. You always need to try to get connected. So in 2021, I came here because I lacked the skill, and then I tried to work on my skill. And in 2023, when I graduated, I was like, hey, let me give it a try. One thing I understood is lot of the skills, like especially sales, you can't learn it on by going to a school or by someone teaching to you. You need to learn it on the go. But what you can learn, which will help you throughout your life, is learn how to be confident and believe in yourself, because that is the most important thing in sales. Because if you don't believe you can deliver, you can't sell it to other people. So I started. So my initial idea, like long time ago when I was doing freelancing, I had to set up all the software infrastructure for my clients, right? And it was super annoying. So I started CloudCode AI as like a AI DevOps assistant. So we were planning to use AI to automatically do all the configuration and settings so that that part of thing is removed quickly and anyone can deploy a very highly scalable system online. And we started with that company. We were working with a couple of customers, and working with them, we realized so AI needs a lot of knowledge, right? AI needs a good understanding of how you have current things to make good amends. But for startups, usually they don't have everything documented. It's very haphazard. So AI can't understand if you don't tell him what is there, right? So it was a big problem for us. And other than that, there were also other business problems, like business hypothesis which we had, which we couldn't see us solving in that idea. So that's why we switched to a different idea, which is right now. This is also something which we knew, and I always hated testing. I would say, like, if you talk to a lot of software developers, they would agree with me what I'm saying. Software developers don't like testing their software or writing test cases. It's just part of the job. So for startups especially, they don't even write test cases because they don't have right skill set or right set of team to do that. So that's why we are building like this AI assistant to write whole software testing and ultimately help you identify bugs early. So we do it in like multiple ways. One is like first we just go through your code and let you know when you are updating, hey, you might have done a small mistake here and there, so that you don't wait around and your customer doesn't come to you telling about the error. Also, given that in today's age with Instagram and TikTok, people have very small attention span. So in 30 seconds, if your product is not delivering what they want, they'll just leave it and go. No one even comes back to you to tell you like there is a bug in your software. So our AI system can actually write all the test cases and also test the software for you as like a AI QA assistant. So it can, using automation tool, it can test a lot of things, all the various combination, and let you know what is failing with the new update. And it's like having a virtual tester 24/7, just making sure your software is up and running. So that is what our goal is, and we are starting with like automated testing. It's an open source project, so we would love contribution from all around the globe. And idea is to build like a virtual tester, which can make sure like all the softwares can be delivered bug free, and then everyone, like all the startups and everyone who wants to build a software in future can kind of quickly iterate, because identifying bugs early ultimately means you can build faster and you can you can write code faster, because there is something which will just let you know if you did a mistake. So ultimately idea is like everyone can build faster and we can see more innovation in the world with way less resources.
And how this works, this automatic testing?
Yeah. So right now, what it does is right now we use like OpenAI APIs to act for our AI database, like for our AI integration. But when it comes to like getting the context of your data, we have a RAG-based system where what happens is like our system goes through your whole code base and understands what is happening and creates an intermediary knowledge base out of it. Now, when you make new update or when you suppose on day one when you want to create test cases for everything, you just pass your code base. AI with the logical connection of how functions are interacting, it can start writing test cases and identifying what piece of code to be tested. We use Playwright. Playwright is an automation tool for end-to-end testing, wherein you just write the step and it tries to mimic in the browser. So our AI system then generates this Playwright scripts and then you can run it. Right now, because we are very early, there are a lot of features lacking, but we are currently working on small models which can be hosted on your servers and your computer itself, which will do write this test for you. So you don't have to share your data with OpenAI. And actually, in our open source project, you are not tied down to OpenAI. You can easily swap any AI model state of the art as they come. So like if you want to use Anthropic, you can quickly switch it out and just use that. Our idea is we are trying to build the whole system around the AI so that as the AI models are improving, the system will just improve on its own. As AI models improve in writing test cases or in reasoning, our whole testing system will also improve. So we just want to enable the future models to just come in and start giving the performance from day one.
So how this will be helpful for developers?
Yeah, so there are like multiple ways. One is like code reviews. In code reviews, what happens is as you are writing code, our AI system looks into like with the changes you have made and identifies if there are any security or any errors and bugs. If there are any errors and bugs, it just points out, hey, you added something which might be a bug, and this is how you can fix it. So when you are writing, right, you can get an instant feedback like something wrong was done, and you can just fix it. The second thing is like having this unit test. Unit test. So both the unit test is like testing small piece of code and making sure the small piece works as expected. So AI also creates all these unit tests for all different pieces of the code. So when you are deploying is something like when you are making your software ready for public, you put it in a server, and when you put it in the server, the unit tests are run and they let you know if some small piece is breaking because of any new changes in your system. And this is all done before you release, right? Before you make your software public to anyone. But after you make your software public, we can help you write end-to-end testing. So how end-to-end testing work is like we create this code which basically tests your software as a user, like clicks on different buttons, tries to sign up and stuff. So if something is failing, like if your sign up is not working, it will just let you know, hey, I tried to sign up, but I couldn't. So you are not waiting for customer and you get quick feedback. And one of the biggest advantage of AI is when software developers are writing this test cases, they need to think of all the possible variations, like, oh, someone may put this or someone may put this. So they need to think on that edge cases and write testing for all the part. But then that thinking or that reasoning, AI can do it for you. So that's our goal. Like AI can come up with all the possible things and let you know how you should make your software good enough. Like in every case, it works and it doesn't fail.
So how it is different from the traditional model that is followed?
So we are actually, I would say, we are not trying to completely change the traditional model. It will take some time. We would like to, but then our current focus is how can we make the traditional model super fast and like so. Currently, you need like 3-4 QA engineers to write the code and continuously update it, and there are like a lot of this communication gaps also. What if we empower one single engineer to write the whole test cases for everything and then just quickly edit them? So this decreases workload on a single guy as well. Like the QA engineer is not spending 8 hours just doing this manual kind of work, but can actually start going out of his ways and, writing more complicated things or actually contributing to the main software. So that's our idea. Like, this is our assistant right now, but in future there are a lot of ways where we can take it and, try to remove the traditional ways. But I think with the current thing, we should focus more on AI as like augmented technology rather than a replacement.
So for any technology that is used for building, that will work for this automation.
Yeah, so any technology currently focused on web application, like if you have a web application based software, our tool can help you out with writing test cases and creating all this testing functionality so that you don't have to spend time, but you can identify a lot of issues in your software from day one.
So before becoming an entrepreneur, you worked as a developer. You have seen, how different applications work and what kind of process a application is going through. So as a developer, what you have seen, that is done for development that you are solving in this, in this product that you're building.
Yeah, so I would say there are like also different sets. Like if you work in a big company, it's a different way of how you write code. But then I have a lot of experience in startup and mid-tier company. So what happens there is like I write a code for something, and the requirement which the team has is, hey, build this feature. So my whole time is focused on writing feature, right? So making sure that feature works in all different cases and executes properly in different environment is tough for me because my main focus is just to make sure it runs. So because in startup and everyone wants to move so fast, they always come up with this new idea. Hey, I want this feature. Hey, I want this feature. But no one sits and make sure the feature works very properly. There is no error and no bug which will kind of affect the whole system in long run. So one example which happened to me is like we had built this login and sign up system. Okay, and whenever everyone would sign up, we would see something on a Slack or like email alert, like someone new came up on our website. So there was a time where for a month no new customer came in, and we just thought, hey, we are not getting enough presence. That's why new customers are not getting in. But what actually happened, and we found out after a month, was we made a change in the database. So new signups were having issues, but people who already had signed up, they could log in. And we had already signed up and we would just log in and see, and everything was working for us. So we just assumed everything is working for any new person who is coming. And we realized this after a month. So I am not sure how many customers we might have lost during that time, but this is something you never know. But AI can actually keep on testing all the system end to end and let you know if anything breaks. So you don't have to worry or spend time. The other thing I've seen is a lot of time when you make the update to the software and make it ready for production. Teams actually sit and test it out on their own. Like they try to sign up again, they try to create everything and test if everything is working. So it takes a lot of manual time, right? Like you are spending 2-3 hours to just test it out. So we can actually cut that down to like you don't have to spend any manual time, or majority things you don't have to spend manual time. There are some things which would be tough with automation, like if you have, like if you have a Bitcoin app and you are sending Bitcoin, our system can't send Bitcoin to your wallet. So that is something where we will still need humans to help us out. But then a lot of the other parts can be automated.
And what about security?
Yeah, so for security, so right now because we are early, we are just using OpenAI large language models. So one of the main issues is like the data goes there, which is a concern for a lot of our customers as well. So right now we are fine tuning this open source large language models to kind of learn and become good enough as the ChatGPT models or maybe better. And then we can have this open source AI models which are trained to do just testing on your own server. So your data will never go out. So you have like, this highly secured, highly private software which keeps testing for you, but it never, like the data is all with you and you have the access to everything. And that is our goal. And to be honest, I feel in long run, smaller models will start ruling a lot of the innovation and the AI game. Because we have not reached the peak of smaller models, we are still evolving. We don't know if 7B is the smallest model which can perform well, or it might be 13B. But then pretty soon we'll know something which performs well. But we won't need a general model like GPT-4o to do testing and stuff. It will be smaller models who are just experts in doing testing, and they'll do testing for you.
And the applications which are already built can be able to test again with the tool that you're building.
Yes. So we are trying to be compatible with existing softwares and tools. And even suppose like if big companies already have created some test cases, but they have only created 50% of the test cases, we plan to help them as well, like to make it 100% or close to 99%. So their test coverage is there. And I think early on, like for next few years, we are trying to be augmenting. Like we don't want to replace whatever they are doing currently. We just want to be something which quickly comes on the side, helps you out, and doesn't affect your main system. Like if you have a startup, your main goal is just to make sure your startup works, and our main goal is to let you know if something is failing in your startup.
And what kind of AWS services that you're using for this?
Yeah, so for AWS, we are using Elastic Beanstalks and EC2 servers mostly for hosting our server, and Secret Manager to make sure like if there are any secrets which we capture, we store it encrypted securely on the database, and maybe S3 bucket at a lot of level. But then most of our application is, a monolith kind of application. We have written the code for it. Using Docker, you can just spin it up and install in any EC2 server. So you don't need to be just on AWS. You can be anywhere, and with few commands, you can have your own service running.
And have you done research before doing this?
So this actually idea came from the inspiration when we were working with two customers, right? We saw this pain, and we saw like they were struggling because they would release something, it will have a lot of bugs, and then the customer would start leaving them, right? Which is a negative sign, and they also panic. So a lot of them started like everyone does testing from now, which is, a lot of time waste. Like all team members are doing testing after this. So that was the idea. Hey, like, can we make it easier so that they know way before the customer knows like there is some error, so that they can fix it and they can save themselves. And for startups, it's very tough because they have so much less resources and they need to do so many things. So that's where the idea came from. And then we have been talking to a lot of people. We have talked to, I think, over 60 people since April. And most of them are looking for something like that. Some companies, like once they become big, right, and it's hard to test on their own, they hire external agencies who do this testing for them on the side, which can be costly. And then it again has like a whole loop because you have other set of people. So the communication gaps needs to be filled in and stuff. So yeah, there we did a lot of research, and we are actually still doing. We plan to talk like 5 users a week to make sure like we are on track, and we are always connected with what users want.
So apart from being an developer, you become an entrepreneur. So what kind of things that an entrepreneur keeps in mind when they are building a product and they're using your product to test it and save their time?
So can you repeat the part of the question? What kind of things?
Yeah, an entrepreneur, like they belong to any scale of they
Business.
can be at level of the company. So what kind of questions do they have when they are building a product and they're testing with your tool?
Yeah, so few questions or few queries which we have been having. One is like the privacy thing. So a lot of companies, especially who are established, like a little older, they want to make sure their code doesn't go out. So for them, privacy is a big issue. They don't want their code to be shared outside. So there has been question like, hey, can you do this? But inside my own service where I know where data is, or I can be compliant with all the laws and privacy rules and regulation. The other question has been like, hey, how good of a system it would be? Like, would it be 100%? Like, will it do the 100% of the job? Because AI is still evolving, and I think right now also our initial test, it seems like we can do 70 to 80% of that automation, but there are some errors, and we are trying to build technicalities, like how can we solve that, like, and then, reach the 100%. So that has always been a question, and we are trying to solve that and tackle that problem. And yeah, mostly all these two are the biggest query which comes to my mind. Yeah.
So, tell me about your team, the developers who actually have, enough knowledge about how the development works and how the testing works.
Yeah, so so basically I am one of the developers. So I also write the code in my company, and I have a co-founder from Cornell. His name is Shreyas Gupta. He's my co-founder and CTO, and we both are building this platform. We both have experience. He was in Shell, so he has big company experience, like how they do processes and how do they stuff. I have all the variations because I did freelancing, then with startup, and then I also interned at a big company in US. So I actually got hands-on experience of how they do testing at scale and how they make sure. Because DevOps, a lot of time also takes care of testing and how the tests are done. So I was more in the DevOps industry for a while now. So we both are writing the code, and yeah, we have one more team member called Johanna. She's helping us build the product and like build all the marketing and content and make sure like our product looks good, because in today's day and age, the experience matters a lot, like how people experience your product. So that's that we are doing. And yeah, like most of the experience comes from our own learning. And to be honest, you always keep on learning. Like I'm still learning about new things which pop up here and there. But there are a lot of things which are standard and which I have known through my software developer journey. And that's what I'm starting automating with. But then there are a lot of new things which I'm learning, which we strongly feel we can solve it too.
70 to 80% of the problem will be solved with the tool that you are building. So, what about that 30%? Do the company need to hire someone to test again?
Yeah, so the more so 70 to 80%, how we are thinking, we are approaching this problem is for companies who already have QA engineers or your software developer who knows Python, right? For them, we can do this 70 to 80, and they just need to take care of the 20, 30. And mostly we'll also give feedback on 20, 30, why it's not working, and letting them know like, hey, I think this is not working because of this, and maybe this is the solution. So any Python developer can kind of quickly fix that thing. Other thing which is like, if you go to any big companies or any software agency who already has like this QA people, for them we are actually reducing the problem even with 70, 80, right? It just makes their life easier. For startups, we are actually like initially we plan to help a lot of startups until we are building our system and making sure the innovation is at the right point, like we can give you a very good service. We plan to help them fix the AI, like the AI will generate the tests, and then if something is not working, we'll just go and see why it's not working, fix it for them, and try to train our AI like next time it updates. And there would be like something like human in the loop feedback kind of thing, wherein we come in, help them out, and then try to improve our AI so that next time it doesn't repeat the same things.
How your development experience is helping you to make this integration work, accurately?
Yeah, I think my development experience has actually massively helped, because I have worked with a lot of different technologies and different products at different scale. So just knowing how things are written, or what's the standard of writing code, and how you need to build a system, that helps you kind of take quick decisions on, hey, I want to use this or not, or is this a risky decision, because there are like some things which you can remove quickly and you have an alternative fix, and some things which, like, if you select AWS for my server, it's kind of hard if I want to move to Azure quickly, right? So this is like a high level decision, but a lot of low level decisions also, if you have experience and you have seen things, your confusion is less and you can make quicker decisions and then just implement and get things done. So I think that has helped us a lot. Like because of that, we have been able to keep up the speed and, build faster and just take quicker decisions on a lot of fronts.
And how you are able to explain to the business owners and developers, because business owners doesn't have much technology knowledge. They depend on the technology experts. So how do you convince them using AI and your tool, and also the developers who has already the development skill set and knowledge, how it will work, how you will convince both, who are
Yeah.
into the business.
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. So for the business people, usually business people, they know testing doesn't work. Two aspects. So like if suppose a startup person is a business person, then usually he's the one who will test the product out himself because he wants to make sure everything is working, right? He's going to do the sales and stuff. So for them, they know doing this test continuously is waste of time. They're founders, their time is well used in other spaces. And usually they know like testing is a big thing, or they know something like quality assurance. So it's easy for us to tell them, hey, we can help you solve that. And they're like, yeah, I'm spending 2 to 4 hours a week. If you can reduce my time, I would love it. When it comes to a big corporate business level, mostly they come from a tech background, so they know more big buzzwords like QA and automated testing and technicalities. So for them also the same idea goes, like we can save you time, and what we are trying to do is like we are trying to make the integration with our software easy and seamless so that it doesn't take time. So they can like quickly try us out. If they don't like, they can quickly throw us out. Like, that would make it easier for them to trust, because if we build something which takes long time to integrate and then to remove our software, it's very hard for them. They would think a lot about making that decision. But then if it's easy and if they can decide like, hey, let's try for 2 weeks. If you don't like, throw our software away. You don't have to use it. So that's a way to convince them. For the software developers, to be honest, it's kind of easy. So people who don't do QA, for them, they usually don't write test cases, or they are forced to write test cases. So they know they want to know the bugs and they want to solve the bugs, but they don't want to write the test cases and all. So for them, it's easier to sell. When it comes to QA people, right, people who actually work in QA and doing that, to them, there is a big plus in like just having things automated and done quickly, so that they are not spending a lot of time just writing the code, because it can be very repetitive and same things. And the other problem which comes to them is like once you have written all the test cases, if your code base updates, right, if you have updated the code, they need to go through all the possibilities and find what is being affected and change the testing for that code, which can be annoying, and a lot of time they also miss out on some of the things which are updated. So if a system can just let them know what is being affected because of the new change, they can just go there and test it out and identify what is wrong.
And what scale of the business can use your tool?
What skill business?
Yeah, I
What
mean,
scale?
yeah.
Yeah. So right now we are starting with startups and small SMBs, where like, the data, we are building our LLM model on the side, but right now we want companies who are okay with, sharing their code base with OpenAI, because we use OpenAI or maybe Claude, or if they have enterprise license of OpenAI, we can just use their key. So they can take care of the data privacy. So, but initially focuses on startups and SMBs. But once we have our system ready and in place for privacy, wherein the LLMs can perform good enough, like the local LLMs can perform good enough to solve their problem, that's when we want to start scaling up to enterprises and going to them and selling our product.
There must be challenges using automation and using AI. So how do you how do you give the alternative or the backup mechanism for already the businesses that are running and which has a lot of customers?
Yeah, so one good thing about our product is we actually don't affect their main product, right? We are not making any change in their current system. You can just imagine like you bring in someone from outside who just does testing for you and lets you know if something is wrong. So for our product, suppose even if like we are not doing 100% job or our system is not working properly, for the user, it's just nothing changes. It's just like the old ways, like the current way which they have, they just fall back to that. We are just a big improvement on what currently they have and it can update. So one example is, so when we create test cases, all the test cases will be with you and they run with the old school technologies like PY test or the well-known testing technologies. So you have all this code and you can always run this test. So even if our systems are not working, if the AI is not working and it's down for a while, you still have this old test cases which just make sure everything is being tested. Only what you will be missing out is if you made a new update and something new breaks, uh, our system won't be able to help you identify that then and there. But if you take today's day and age, it's still not happening because people don't know how to identify what is breaking if their test case doesn't test that.
And how you are able to be a good developer and also be a DevOps engineer?
Yeah, good developer, to be honest, it's a learning curve and you always need to learn and try to follow the basics which you have read. But yeah, I'm not sure if I should call myself a very good developer. It's a learning thing. I'm always learning, but I try to always use best practices, follow industry standards, whatever is there. Use a lot of automation tool to make sure I'm following industry standards. So like when you are writing code in Python, there are software like linting and statistical analysis of your code, which helps you identify problems and issues, especially in security level. So that can just help you make sure you follow the pattern and you are doing a good job. And yeah, but I would say it's learning. And as you see more code and write more code, you just improve on your own.
And as a developer, if you're working for a company and if you're helping them in the development and also in the DevOps, what questions that you will have if you're using a third-party tool like this for offering and for telling that testing is going to be automated and you don't need to worry about testing. We are going to do this.
Yeah. So what was the first part of the question?
As a developer, what kind of a questions that you will have if you're working for a company and if someone is offering, testing automation tool like this?
Yeah, that's a very good point of view. I've never tried that. But one thing would be like the data privacy because, like, suppose if I'm working on a big company, the code privacy matters a lot. Because for a lot of big companies, code is IP. But then if I'm working for a startup and I'm not doing something unique or I'm creating a new algorithm, right, or new system, I mostly wouldn't care about my data going to OpenAI because I know this is something like which is there outside. I'm just taking multiple pieces and building my own software. This is a common knowledge, not something very unique to us. Uh, in big company, it will also be like how the data is going to be managed. How are you going to charge us? But that is also a good question because I want to know like you're not going to bill us like your huge bill, right? End of the day, how do you make sure there is no huge bill? And then other thing is like how do you manage access control for the software, especially for big companies? A lot of times you need something like SSO built in so that they can connect to a single app and they can start using your software. And yeah, accuracy is also something which you would ask like, hey, how accurate this is? How much time will I still need to spend on it? And I would look for an answer which makes my life better. So suppose if I'm spending 2 hours writing code and you can do it in 10 minutes and then I have to spend 20 minutes to just solve it and fix it. I would love that because my 1.5 hour is saved. But then if your performance is not good, then it's not. And to be honest, all this technical, if I was a software engineer, I would like to try the software first rather than buying. So I would say, hey, give it to me. I'll try it out on this small project which I was doing for my company on the side. And I'll see how it works. If it works good enough and I see there is a difference, then I'll do. But then even with the output, if I see it takes a lot of time for me to figure out how it's working, I won't buy it.
And how do you tell to your business owners who wants to know how this will work?
Yeah, so right now I just verbally try to explain the process or algorithm which we have or how we store the data and do the processes. It also depends on the person, how deeper knowledge they have. A lot of time, business people don't care a lot about technology or how you are doing things. They just have few questions on privacy and all. They just wanted you to answer that. But sometimes there are software engineers, they would ask good question like, hey, how are you going to do this? Where are you going to store this? How will you run this? And how will I know if something doesn't work? Things like that. So we just explain it, but we are working on building like a customer deck wherein give a presentation quickly to explain them how things are going to move and work.
And do they need to withdraw the testers that they have if they are using this tool?
Withdraw as in like remove them from the company or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah.
To be honest, I would say most of the companies who already have testing things sorted, it doesn't make sense for them to experiment. Like it will only be companies who are facing some problem doing testing properly or on time or they have some resource gap. Like, hey, we hired 10 people, but we are still not able to do the testing completely. So there is like where our initial target would be and where we can come and, start solving problem. In long run, to be honest, I'm not sure how it will work out. For some big companies, there might be like they would need less testers to do the testing part. But then it also means like this testing people can go into more major role of writing more scripts or like actually contributing to the main software rather than testing. Like if you see the past, every time new technology has come, we have thought like this set of people would be removed from job and there won't be a need. But then every time a new software comes, there is something new and complex which needs them. So not sure, but I would surely say there would be some shift of like how people utilize and what they are working on. To be honest, my understanding is so we used to have software engineers, business people, but then because software grew so big, we started having more people in the layer. Like DevOps came in 2010 because developer and operation, we needed communication. But I feel with AI, how we created the complexity, right? With AI, the complexity will go down and then we will need like one developer and one business person can do like a good job and it will just help on that aspect. So also means it will enable a lot of people to build their own startups. So if you know a problem and you just want to solve it, you can use AI and with automation, if if you're smart enough and you are ready to learn, you can build a whole software and start solving the problem.
And now all most of the companies are migrating from on-premises to cloud. So this will work. The tool that you are building is going to work on-premises and also on the cloud.
Yes, actually, we are. So I have not explored on-prem yet. We are mostly on the cloud. So our system works on the cloud right now. But then it should also work for on-prem system. But we would need some integration and some customization there because every on-prem every on-prem company has a different setup of how they have created the whole network and how things work. So we might need to do some customization. But right now, if anyone is using any cloud, our software works pretty well.
So the infrastructure that is taken from any cloud provider can use this tool,
Yes.
and no matter what scale the application is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think For enterprises, we might have to see on how they do things, because in enterprises they start creating this lot of virtual private networks inside, and how the communication happens. So a lot of time environments are isolated. So maybe for them we would need some customization to come in and make sure the connection and everything is done. But for most of the companies, our software should work.
And do you work on mobile applications as well?
We haven't started focusing on mobile applications yet. We can help you in mobile application on the pre-deployment part, which is like writing unit tests and then providing code review. That we can help today also. But then actually testing in phone, because it also brings in another dimension. Like there are different types of OS, there are different types of screen sizes, and there are also like device behind. Like if they have a different set of chips, that can also sometimes affect performance. So if you want to make sure your mobile app works thoroughly, you need to make sure you take into all the variations. We do plan to, like, once we have gotten a decent good enough in solving the web application, we want to jump into mobile.
So your application or your tool has access to the original code of the application of the business. So does that alter the original code?
No.
So what kind of access that you're going to have with the original code of the application of their business?
Yeah, so right now we do have read access. We don't have code write access. The test cases also which we write, we try to keep it on our cloud, or if you run it locally, it will just create files for you. But in future, we might have, like where you give us write access and we create a test folder for you where we keep all our tests. Other than that, we don't want to touch your code base directly. It's not in pipeline for now. Maybe once our AI system becomes good enough, we can have this functionality where, our AI system can find a bug and it can also fix a bug for you. Like it can tell you this was an issue when I was testing and I think I can fix it like this, and you click a button and it will do. But then that is long run. Right now we don't touch, we just read it and create this understanding so that AI can understand your code better and solve it properly.
So what are the main advantages that people can get using this?
Yeah, I would say one is like the time savings, because a lot of time is gone in like people put on testing, and then a lot of time when bugs are there in production, you also lose customers also financially. Uh, so time saving, finances, but the biggest one I would say, once we are able to do it right, if we are able to automate this testing to a very good percentage, people can start building very fast, and they can, they don't have to care about making a mistake, because there will be this system which will understand and let you know if there is a mistake and also fix that mistake for you. So you are just writing something which what you intend, and it will start fixing for you quickly.
Uh, you're using AI to solve this problem. So as a developer, you have done this manually before, when you were working for as a freelancer or working for different clients directly. So what are the human problems that that you have observed and now you are solving with AI? So are they different problems that business owners that they are going to face, or do you also found some of the artificial intelligence errors that that needs to be fixed if something goes wrong, because nothing is perfect.
Yeah, no, that's true. So, from my experience, what I've seen is a lot of time communication is a big gap when you hire, especially if they are not your team members and you hire an external agency. Communication is a gap, and that creates a lot of friction problem and delays in the testing and writing the whole test suite. The skill set gap also, because like I'm talking about startups, a lot of times startup people, like a software developer, he's not a testing expert. He knows how to, like, he might be an Android expert who knows how to build an Android app. He might be a backend expert, but he's not an expert in testing, and he doesn't know all the concepts of how to write tests. So there is a knowledge gap. So you need to hire someone who knows this to set up the whole infrastructure to do the testing. uh, so that is there. Then the second thing comes is it's just writing the code. So, uh, still you need to type and you need to make sure everything works and you need to do it one at a time, which can be long. Like if you take like a 300 line code, it will take like 8 hours to write a 300 line code, but then AI can do it in like 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes you have something, maybe spend 20 minutes testing and finding bugs. Maybe at max in hour or 2 hour, you can have everything sorted. So AI is going to save a lot of time on that front. The issue with AI is a lot of time it hallucinates. It doesn't do what you want to intend. So we are kind of trying to solve that, and at a lot of level we are able to do it. Like make sure it's doing what we have asked it to, and it's not doing something random and gibberish. That is a problem which we still have with AI. The other thing is the outputs are not accurate, so you can't 100% trust them. So having something in the loop or having some processes in the loop which make sure what AI is doing is correct is important. And other thing is like right now the state of the art models are mostly closed source. So your data goes to all this OpenAI and Claude, which is risky for any company, right? So that is a big disadvantage. So if we are able to get the small models to perform as this closed source models, that's when we can kind of bridge the gap in AI.
The enterprises always, improves their application, adding additional functionalities and features based upon their business needs. So how your testing model is going to help them, when they are adding new things on their website?
Yeah, it's going to be a big game changer for them, because I think how the process works right now is uh, the software developer in big enterprises, they write the code and then they push the code. Then there is a QA team which takes the new code and writes all the test cases, various test cases for this new piece of code. And then if there is some issue, they ask developers to update and fix it. What we can do is like this QA team, it can start giving feedback very quickly, like within a day. Like as the developers finished and passed it to the QA team can say, hey, this is not working, fix it in the code. Other thing is for the QA team, it will help them, think of more possible variation, because right now they might, as a human, like, our thinking and context is usually small. It's very hard for us to think of all the possible futures or all the possible steps, right? We can only think of a limited number of steps. So for QA people also, they can only think of limited number of edge cases or problems which might occur, and they would write test cases for that. But AI can actually think of lot of other steps or tests which I have seen. Like I sometimes was like, hey, I didn't think of this, but AI was able to think of this and it tested out and let me know, yeah, my system can handle it. So things like that is going to help all these QA teams faster, and then enterprises can just deploy their software faster, which would be great for any company.
So, as an technologist, as an CEO of of the business, you have been in the in this industry, and you saw the evolution of the technology, and now you are building a product, which is going to work in future. So, what do you say about the technology evolution as an observer, as a curious person, and where we are and where we are going to?
Yeah, this is super cool. To be honest, I've been exploring that a lot, and I have not seen, like, I've read of a lot of evolution, but not seen it, because the Web 2 age, I was just like a 5 year old, so I didn't know. But the Web 2 in 1992 it started, and during that time, everything changed. But what I feel is like right now we are just entering the new age, right? So everyone was scared in 1992 also, like everyone would lose their jobs, and then we would have like this, massive joblessness in the economy. But then if you see in 2004, 2005, the largest, like I think a lot of people were working in IT services industry, wherein they are building software. Like majority of our population started doing that. But in 1990, everyone was scared like this will this will make them lose all of their job. Now if you see if you see AI, I think there is the sentiment like, hey, this will take away all the jobs. But I feel there will be a lot of new opportunities which open up, because we still need humans in all different ways. It's very necessary, because technology is actually not worthwhile until you have humans who use it and make it useful. And there are so many problems still which we haven't solved. Like, we haven't reached the peak of humanity where we don't have it. Everyone has daily problem. Some are very small, some are very big. So there are so many problems to solve. So till date we have problems. Till then we'll have like a lot of jobs for people to do.
So the businesses which belongs to different industries, have different kinds of things to do. So do you assure them that this will help for application which belongs to any industry?
Uh, Mostly yes. I haven't come around an exception yet, but I don't want to, just say like 100%, because you never know, and I still have to see a lot of different things. But most of the things, wherever you have web application software, our software can work now, and in future plan is to also have it for mobile. And then in future, I think Oculus is coming, so maybe hopefully there also we can do testing, but that would be a long way.
If businesses get habituated with automated testing, and in future, every business or every business owner wants their business to be a long run. That's why the reason they work on, and they use their effort and energy, and the
Yeah.
finances. So how you're going to give them assurance that you're going to provide this service for a long period, and that will help them, them to depend on this, and not to use humans, and save their money and time.
Yeah, so to be honest, like, it's very hard thing, because we are a young startup, and we live right now on VC funding. So it's very hard to justify that. So to solve that, how we are approaching is like, we are building a system which, even if you remove us and you have to hire a human, or like, right now we are not even trying to replace humans. So you'll always have someone, and our system will do like uh, speed up majority of the job. Now, suppose one day if we are out of business, I hope it doesn't happen. But what will happen is, you'll still have all the test cases, and you just need to hire more human, or more QA engineers to kind of help you out to scale. But then, given that we are adding so much value, I think the enterprises will just help us by giving money so that we can deliver the solution to them.
And what do you say to the developers for watching and listening to you now, and also to the business owners for listening to you?
For the developers, I would say, actually, like, start embracing AI a lot and use it as an augmented tool. Like, with AI, every developer will become a 10x developer. So try to become that 10x developer and be as fast as possible. And feel free to, like, we will be launching our public beta, and our tool can actually help you, like, when you are learning and you are building the side projects, give you feedbacks on, hey, you are making this mistake and all, which you can learn, and next time on, like, you can just avoid and be faster when you are writing code. And for business owners, again, like, AI is going to be there. Obviously the privacy concerns are there, and people will come up with solutions. And we would, same thing, like, embrace AI and try to automate most of the business jobs which are taking a lot of time and becoming a concern for you. And if you want to kind of look like how we can help you with solving the testing problem and the quality of your software, feel free to reach out to me.
To the business owners?
Yeah, to the business owners, like, same thing only. Like, I just said this for business owners. Idea is like, I would ask them to embrace the AI again. Like, make sure AI is in all different components wherever they have to spend a lot of time. And next thing would be like, if they want to collaborate with us and tie up with like, do a pilot to see how our product can help them cut short times and improve their efficiency of their software teams, they can reach out to me, and I would love to talk to them and understand their problem.
And if the business has a mobile application and a web application, both, how you're going to help them?
So for the mobile applications, right now we won't be able to help in instant future, maybe 1 year down the line. But for mostly like if people have mobile application, they also have people who do mobile testing, and web application testing is different. So we can help you with the web application testing part, and happy to always chat. Like if we find opportunity, if we see there is a big push for mobile, and that is the most, like most lucrative way for us, we can dive in there also. But when I'm talking to users, I'm finding more web applications, so that's why we are focusing on web applications first.
And at last, can you tell about your online presence and also where people can able to see your work and the documentation and how your things will work?
Yeah, so I'm Saurav Panda. You can find me on Twitter at Saurav_Panda24. And you can also find me on LinkedIn. Just search for Saurav Panda. Uh, and you can see my projects on GitHub. In GitHub, my username is Panda. It's also Saurav Panda without space, I think. I have multiple GitHubs, but Saurav Panda should work. And my company is called CloudCode AI. So you can visit my company website at https://cloudcode.ai. And my open source project is called Kaizen. So you can search for CloudCode space Kaizen, and in GitHub we have this open source project. We would love more contributors, and we would be hiring people in India. So I'll be just shooting out a LinkedIn post in next couple of days to hire more people in India.
So your company is based in?
We are based in New York City.
So the businesses belongs to any country can able to use your service, no matter where they belong to.
No, there are like 7, 8 countries which are banned, so we can't deal with them. Like I think North Korea is one of them. So other than that, banned countries, everyone can use our software.
Okay. So at last, as a developer, as a business owner, as a technology observer, as a person who is working on advanced technology, what is your observation about my work? You have seen my videos.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think talking to all these people, like all the entrepreneurs, and sharing their vision and their worldview is very important, because everyone grows up with different knowledge and experience, and they get different set of viewpoints. And just listening to them, it gives you a lot of learning and also insight to think on your own understanding of how you think of a system. So I always like people who talk to others and try to understand how they are doing business, because everyone is learning, and to be honest, you'll be learning throughout your life. So the best way to share your learning and make sure others don't make the same mistake is like by just sharing your knowledge with everyone. So you're doing a
So
great job. We love this. Yeah.
I have done masters in software engineering, also bachelors in computer science and engineering. Right now, I'm working as DevOps engineer for a
Nice.
UK company right now. So that's my full-time role. Apart from that, I'm interviewing like experts like you who are already in the industry and for are doing different jobs and different works, and I'm trying to explore how different businesses works, and also trying to understand how different applications are built with the developers and the architects, all kinds of people in the technology industry, and from all kinds of people from all kinds of background who are coming from,
Yeah.
and also from different countries, and
Yeah.
trying to also communicate and trying to understand different subjects,
Yeah.
which actually is the main reason for the technology tools and that services that we are using. Like, it can be a psychology or, people who are working on different industries. So as an entrepreneur, what do you say about, the projects that I'm doing? Like, I have also interviewed experts who are working in NASA as well, who are working in space technology. So trying to understand what kind of tools and technologies that they are using in the space related projects. So what I'm going to learn with this communication, this global communication system, and how this is going to be, this is going to contribute to my development and my career.
Yeah, for you, to be honest, like you're doing a great job. I would say from startup point of view, like if you in future want to do a startup, you are actually building a very good background. You are what we call is distribution. You are building a very good distribution, like with so many followers online, and because they come from all this different aspect, right? Suppose you build like a AI tool which can help, and you just post videos about your YouTube, you'll get so many customers because you have so many people following and they've been listening to you. Uh, Also sharing your information, it also shows like you understand things, you are curious, and then you can learn things as well, because to understand something, when people are saying, you need to learn a little, right? What is happening, you need to get a little background. So I would say this is very good. Uh, and yeah, I think I would strongly suggest you should also think of like get a co-founder and think of a startup. Whenever you get idea, don't force yourself. But then I would say force yourself, like you want to do startup, you need to do that because it's a jump. But you'll find something, and this is a very good for your profile.
So what do you say to the, recent graduates who are coming out from the university, so who are
Yeah.
especially from India?
Yes, so I know it's super tough, especially in Indian market, because we were taught very differently. Like we were taught to be like a cog in the wheel, like basically just like uh, a part of this big complicated system where you do the small thing and the system just keeps on running. So I feel lot of students need to embrace entrepreneurship, see problems around you and try to solve with the skills you have learned in university or anywhere. So see, in businesses also, you need to understand how you can solve something for them to make money. It's a give and take. You solve something and you get money for that. So use your skill set to get something out of it, solve a problem, and go for startups. Also go for jobs. So one of my understanding is when I was growing up in India, my parents were doing stable job, and everyone wishes you have a stable job wherein like you have a big corporate which is well known, or maybe a government job wherein they know you are going to get money. And we have been like gotten accustomed to having this constant salary every month and living like that. But I think the world is going to disrupt a lot, and it would be more like you earn a lot one day and you don't earn, so you need to plan your finances, everything. So it will more like, film in any other industry. If you go like film industry, or if you go to like, content creation and all, it's like that. Like it's ups and downs. You don't have a stable income, but we have gotten so used to stable income that we want to get a stable income, but future will more look like having, more job, less job, but having a good future and improve future for all. So you just need to be ready mentally and take a leap of faith. And one more thing. So we are hiring. So we are actually trying to focus on hiring a new grad, so that we can give them an opportunity to work with us. We are finance like based on whatever we can afford. We are putting it out, but hopefully we can give someone an opportunity to work with us, learn from us, and as we grow, we also help them grow in their career and make them big.
Great. Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes, yes, yes. Go for it.
And also, can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much, Saurav,
Yeah.
for your time and telling about the product that you're building and also answering to some of my questions.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And let me know if any people in my connection, I can help you. Like if you want to interview them and it might be useful for you, I can help you connect and maybe, get more people on.
Definitely, that is very valuable thing for me. Thank you again.
Yeah. Have a good day. Bye bye. Good night.
Take
Sorry.
care.
Bye. Yeah.
Take care. Bye.